for 8 months, but now we are finally getting the first true PlayStation 5 video game, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. When you boot this up, you are going to say,
"Ooh, pretty." What I loved about this game, man, it just look. Everywhere there's something going on. There's packets of people, balloons moving. There's just so much going on in the background, and it goes all the way to back here. And you see stuff like flying around. There's so much detail. It feels so alive.
You got 17.4 octo-quad processors pumping out 300 pixels per gallon. Subwoofer mega aliasing with real-time bump maps.
Look at Dunkview, dude.
The game you are looking at right now could only ever be possible on the PlayStation 5.
No, wait, that's not it.
Am I right?
That's not. Wait, that's not right. That's not Rift Apart.
Well, Richard, you're never gonna trust me again after this, but you just fell for my biggest trap ever. Again. This is actually the PS4 game from 2016.
Oh, really?
Which is still a spectacular looking game. The Ratchet and Clank series has always been impressive visually. This was true in the PS2, PS3, PS4, and especially so in Rift Apart. Sweeping vistas.
Oh, that one did look good. I can still play. I can play that one.
Scaled action sequences, expressive character animation, the varied humming of different types of ships zooming beneath you.
The hands, the vibrations on the controllers.
You gotta love the sound design on that. It's not just the level of detail, but the variety of locations. Neon-lit cyberpunk cityscapes doused in purple rain. Dino jungles with mammoth creatures towering over you. The shattered and scattered mining planet Blizzard Prime. You're really gonna want to
Gosh, that was a fun week of streaming, man.
All of the little details in these worlds. Especially when you get to Mr. Zarkon's Cantina. This place is just ridiculous.
I did not explore this place as well as I should have.
In this one room. These guys are over here drinking drinks. Wasn't there a sound effect on that drink? This dude is riding a mechanical something. Over here, they're playing Street Fighter on the arcade cabinet. Now look at these little creatures inside the jukebox. Who are these guys? Then you got a sheep.
Wait, who were those guys?
Bar. Of course, you know who this sheep is, right? If you read his bio, turns out that's actually Chairman Trik from the original game.
I don't know what that means at all.
Sony is really pushing.
You want a PS5 already? You'll probably want to get one towards Christmas.
Breakthrough technology, and Rift Apart pulls attention to
most of the stuff that I use my PS5 for is watching anime right now. Like, I go through and I play the game, like Returnal, Ratchet Clank, and then Demon Souls on Mondays with Walter. But other than that, like, there hasn't been too much of a breakout experience that you need to play. But when Horizon Zero Dawn 2 comes out,
trick where you can seamlessly
you're gonna need one
from world to world. This is a cool trick, but Sony, remember all those PS4 games without loading? Uncharted 4, God of War, Red Dead 2, Last of Us 2. These games had one initial load screen and then never again. It was just one continuous.
Gosh, that sequence was so fun in Uncharted.
Game figured out load
you
times,
literally drive
you know
through an entire city, getting destroyed
PS2,
while fighting bad guys.
This was 20 years ago. Rift Apart is an excellent looking game, one of the best. But is this game only possible on the PS5? I don't know about all that. Sony Santa Monica recently announced that the next God of War game is still coming to PS4.
I don't know how to feel about that one.
Enough for God of War Ragnarok? Shut the fuck up out of here with this. Can't even shut the fuck up. Gameplay. Wait, we're actually going to talk about the game in this video. The gameplay here is solid. It's not exceptional. It's not
agree with that.
Next generation experience. It's just solid. You have a nice variety of shooting, platforming, and puzzles, and a nice variety of weapons like the ice cube gun and the electrocutor and the sprinkler that turns enemies into
sprinkler was OP, dude. That was so busted.
With your shotgun. Whenever I see a TNT box, I break out the little pistol and get that pinpoint
Watch that! Look at that! Ah, that effect, man.
You can spawn in an entire army of minions to win fights for you.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Snail racing off of Undertale, grapple hooks, wall running, rocket boots that let you tear through every level. Some of the most expensive looking rail grind sequences I've ever seen. Even with all this going for it though, the repetition starts to creep in around the halfway mark.
Yeah, I think that's fair, yeah.
Screen at a time, you have a dash, you pause and pick weapons from a wheel, and your guns chip off parts of the enemy's armor. And that's when I realized I am playing the G-rated version of Doom Eternal. This comparison does Ratchet and Clank no favors, because the combat of Doom Eternal is far more thought out. Every weapon beats nearly every enemy.
I do wish there was a little bit more of, like, certain weapons are better against other weapons. I do think some things were good against, like, flying monsters, but for the most part, you could just kind of spam anything that you wanted. I switched up all my weapons because I wanted to level them up and get some variety in my gameplay, but you could literally just sit on the same thing if you want.
Play here. There is also a severe lack of variety among enemies, especially for a game that is about going to all these different dimensions, you know? The game just keeps throwing the same mini-bosses at you again and again and again. I must have fought this big robot guy like 10 times.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
As the game progresses. There's a lot of shooting sections, and then you bring out this little robot to play a virus minigame. And now here's some more shooting sections.
She was so cute!
So let's recap. Graphics? Gameplay? Story? The nicest thing I can say about the story is that it's competent. Most games, on top of being incredibly dumb,
God, Days Gone gets everyone.
Rift Apart
shows this scene in Days Gone. Everyone. I've seen this scene like 3 or 4 times in YouTube videos. I think he's like getting married, and then they like say like some stupid shit to each other about loving each other, blah blah blah. Then he gives her a ring, and then they look back, and their one friend is there watching it. And then, like, you spawn out of it, you go into a fight, and then you spawn back into it, and the cutscene just finishes or something.
Incredibly dumb,
but everyone shows that scene.
Drawn out and tedious. Rift Apart is brisk and snappy. Dr. Nefarious, the bad guy who always loses, sucks you into an alternate dimension where he always wins. It's definitely a cool premise that is squandered on very boring characters. The whole fun of the alternate dimension is seeing the characters you already know in a new light, like Skid McMarks. In the normal dimension, he's a laid-back surfer dude, but in the alternate dimension, he's a badass secret agent. The alternate versions of Ratchet and Clank, though, are pretty much the exact same characters. They have the same weapons and the same calculatedly inoffensive personalities.
I'm glad you're okay, buddy.
True.
You too, Ratchet.
So, this was my first Ratchet and Clank game, but I heard that these games used to be a little bit more vulgar and more tongue-in-cheek with their dialogue. What I did like about this game is, like, it was very wholesome and good-natured. Like, I played it, and throughout the entire time, it was uplifting, which was kind of nice. It was, sometimes you play games and, like, you're just swallowed in dread and whatnot and shit talk, which is like fun in its own right, but sometimes it's cool to have like just a wholesome experience. This was a very fun, wholesome experience, but I think that's like a bit different compared to the other Ratchet and Clanks.
Why do you go to this planet? So you can get a rock. Why do you go to this planet? Because the rock broke. Now you have to fix it. This is the storyline, you guys.
Yeah, but amusement park rides.
Emotional heft here to satiate an entire video game. Ratchet is intimidated by the prospect of finally meeting his lost race of rabbits. Meanwhile, Rivet and Kit both have trust issues they have to overcome. I guess the core idea is uncertainty, which isn't a good fit for a story this formulaic and predictable.
Oh,
I think it's fair, yeah.
You feel bad? Even though I just watched your brain diary thingy?
Oh my god, he feels bad even though she was mean to him? Wow.
You okay, Bolts?
you came after me.
Oh my god, she came after him even though she didn't like him before? Oh my god. This game is rated E for everybody, not E for children only.
Fair.
To really tell an effective story, you need to take the audience through a series of different moods. But Rift Apart seems to only have one setting, loud.
It's me! Take it!
When they aren't screaming or shooting or blowing up stuff, then it's the complete opposite. Now they're too polite. It's like every other line of dialogue in this game is somebody saying thank you.
Thanks for choosing Miss Circles.
Thank you for going to such trouble on my behalf.
Yeah.
Thank you both for freeing my brothers.
Thank you, Ratchet.
To be fair, we did everything in this game. We deserve to be thanked. We solved all the puzzles, we got all the weapons, we leveled everything up, we saved every single person we ran into. We deserve to thank you. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes it's nice to be thanked. Sometimes.
No, thank you.
In case I do not get another chance to say it,
Don't do it.
Thank you.
You piece of shit. They're trying to reach for some emotional moments here, but the
Did he? I didn't notice that. Did he time that with the voice lip sync?
don't do it.
Watch her voice.
Thank you.
You piece of shit. They're trying to reach for
I
some
think he did.
emotional moments here, but
That's
the
funny.
dialogue is too sappy and congratulatory for it to connect. Everybody's always telling each other how great they are, or just really hamming it up with some corny monologue.
So, what do you think of Clank?
Oh, talented, resourceful. You're good. No, great. So of course he would be too.
Because no matter how many times he screws up, he's always there when it matters most.
I am good at this!
How do I rate this game? Well, people love to compare Ratchet and Clank to Pixar. There's even a Toy Story joke in this game. So I will say Rift Apart is like the Cars of video games.
Thank you.
It should be I who is thanking you.
Cars 2, actually.
Yeah, fair, but I enjoyed my time in Ratchet and Clank. I had a lot of fun with that game. Visually, it was very impressive. And I think that is a good foundation for games going forward, man. It's kind of crazy what we can do with hardware nowadays.